I'm sorry, BJ, but I still disagree with you. I think Kobe Bryant's a better player. I think that if Kobe Bryant would have played in that era, he could have scored 30 points himself. A couple reasons why. Back to my original point, guys were smaller. Jordan's going up against Gary Payton. You named a couple players that are all like under 6'5". Barkley, Payton, Bird. Bird's not going to guard Jordan. Bird's garbage. He's too slow. So you named very few players under that are actually over 6'5" that could guard Jordan. Jordan basically was the quickest guy on the court, and on top of that, he was 6'5", 6'6". So he's the quickest guy on the court, and he's 6'6". Okay, you're talking about if LeBron James right now had a jump shot and could hit the three-pointer and could, basically if LeBron James had a jump shot right now, he'd be the best player in the world for the next 10 years until he retires. He'd be the best player ever. If LeBron James had a consistent jump shot, he'd be the best player in the world. You know why? Because he's 6'8" and nobody can guard him, and guys guarding him are two guards. They can't guard him. Now let's take that and apply it to when Michael Jordan played. Michael Jordan was 6'6". He had guys who were 6'3", 6'4". If they were 6'6", they weren't nearly as quick as Jordan. Why am I saying Kobe Bryant's a better player? He's 6'7". He's 220. He's a bigger body. He has just as nice, almost just as nice jump shot as Michael Jordan. He's a better player taking the ball to the rack than Michael Jordan. Kobe played in a better, against more competition than Michael Jordan has seen. And I'm not saying the NBA is better. I'm saying the guys are athletically better than they were in the 90s. If you put LeBron James in the 90s, if you put Carmelo Anthony in the 90s, and this is going to bring up another point. I think that the Dream Team that recently won the gold medal, the redeemed team, would destroy the Dream Team of the 90s. And I really do think that. I think with the players they had, that they could beat the Dream Team of the 90s. Now, we're back on the Kobe Bryant subject. Michael Jordan could not score 81 points in the league of today like Kobe Bryant did. Kobe Bryant has so many more skills taking the ball to the rack and using his body. All Michael Jordan really had was his quickness and a smooth jump shot. When you bodied Jordan up, I think he fell apart. And another thing, you mentioned 6 rings. Those 6 rings were also Scottie Pippen's rings. Because when the Bulls were outstanding, Scottie Pippen easily could have played on any other team and been the second best player in the NBA. People underestimate how good Scottie Pippen was. Scottie Pippen, in my opinion, was the second best player in the NBA in the Jordan era. So basically, you have number 1 and number 2 on the same team. You are the best defender on the Chicago Bulls. And then you bring in Dennis Rodman. You bring in Dennis Rodman, who didn't give a crap about scoring. All he cared about was getting rebounds and playing defense. If he scored 10 points a game, he'd be thrilled. And then you put on the best three-point shooter in the history of the NBA, Steve Kerr. And then you bring in the best foreign player at the time, Tony Kukoc. You gotta be kidding me. You're saying that Jordan won 6 rings? Yeah, I agree, he did win 6 rings. But those 6 rings because he had the supporting cast of basically, the best supporting cast that any team has ever had. Look at his bet, Ron Harper. Another amazing player. Kobe had 1 or 2 good players on his team and still won how many championships? He's had 5. Because the guy's a warrior and nobody can stop him. That's what I'm saying. Kobe had Shaq for 3 of those. Kobe had Robert Horry, Derek Fisher. Who else? You name these players. Come on. Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol. These guys are not nearly as good as the guys Jordan had. Jordan's guys were sick. Again, people don't realize that Scottie Pippen was the second best player in the NBA when Jordan was on the Bulls and they were playing together. Do you realize this? You got him. You got him. I got nothing more to say. Jordan wouldn't have been Jordan without Pippen. Kobe's Kobe by himself. Jordan wouldn't have been Jordan without Pippen. Kobe's himself. And I'm serious. And I want to tell you one more thing. Defensively, I think Kobe Bryant's a better defender. When you really see, you saw it in the Dream Team. I mean, in the Redeem Team. Kobe Bryant's sticking players playing defense. All Jordan had was a jump shot and a quick step. Again, Kobe Bryant, the better player. You put Kobe Bryant in the 90s, in the 80s. One of the best players of all time. Possibly the best. You know, you kind of hard to compare him to Kareem and Wilt. You know, those are bigs. But best guard to ever play basketball, Kobe Bryant. If LeBron had a jump shot, he'd be number one. But he doesn't. So, representing Pennsylvania, Mike Platt and Kobe Bryant. I'm out.